So I'm curious to know about kind of what you see as the next step. Where does this take us from here? What does the future of YouTube look like? And also, you know, what you think will happen, and also what you'd like to see happen.
Yeah. What I'd like to see happening, and I'm not just saying this because of your class, we have to somehow integrate the library and the digital library. I mean, that has to happen. And when I say integrate, I don't mean, I don't, you know, you notice that I assign YouTube to my students. I assign Wikipedia. To me, it's not either or. And so classic examples of my papers are, you have to use a print material from the book and you have to use the internet. You know, so I'm not either or. But there really should be, I don't know if there should or has to be, but it would be nice if there was some kind of selection process, like a library, does. There's no way, because of space concerns, there's no way that a library can include every book, right? But they can include important books, and the library, especially when it's local, can include books that come from, say, 2 or 3 people who say, we really want this book. So there has to be some kind of element in that. At this point, it seems like there really is very little, not control, but very little strategies to say, this is preferred over that. And so right now it seems like it's like, well, we have most viewed on YouTube. So just
the ratings.
The ratings. And so I think that we're trying to get towards that, but we're not there yet. But what I would like to see is some kind of combination. I mean, I like the pure kind of anarchy, and in some ways the pure democracy of everyone can get up there and do it if they have the means of technology. I think it would be nice to have some kind of element of expertise. And I'm saying that very carefully because I do not believe that there should be expertise across the board of YouTube. I think that would take all the funk out of it.
Right.
But I think that it would be nice if I could go to that Nixon clip, you know, quick. I want a clip of Nixon and Kennedy debating. It would be really nice if maybe a media historian or a class of media studies students, you know, they don't have to be trained experts, but they have to have some kind of knowledge and relevance to this topic. If they could somehow curate some of it, all right? And I think that's what really kind of needs to be happening all over the internet realm. But the internet's so young, of course, we haven't even had time to think about that. So that will happen. With the future of YouTube, I mean, just 2 things come to mind. I'm waiting for YouTube to replace all media, you know, and so one thing I kind of fibbed at the beginning, I'm, along with Melinda Stone, I'm the faculty advisor for USF TV, and USF has a cablecast television here. For the first year, they were just on cable, so a cable channel that would feed the dorm rooms. And I kept on saying, you know, you guys gotta get on YouTube, you gotta get on YouTube, but I didn't force them, and they took about a year to come around by doing that. Once they were on YouTube, this was really fascinating. Once on YouTube, 2 things happened. They started getting a more global audience, as we can expect, of course. But more importantly, their local audience started coming up. And so they'd say something like, oh, you know, I saw you guys, I saw this interesting story on YouTube. When is the cablecast? Oh, Thursday nights. Cool, I'll start watching it. And so I found that very interesting. And what was nice is that the students who might have been schooled a little bit too strongly on maybe the business of television were nervous for giving their work away. And I was kind of like, come on, this is a wonderful television kind of newscast, but give it away. It's got to be for free. 2 things that I think need to happen right now is, the first one is that I think YouTube or video sharing will replace so much of what we call news today. I think that all of us many of us are getting very nervous about the day that newspapers will fold, and that will, not whether they'll fold, but when they will fold. And it's not just because we love the materiality of the newspaper, it's because they have investigative reporting and they're trained, and so it's interesting, and also because all of the other media that we look at, a lot of that stuff is based on print journalism. Okay. But instead of like bemoaning that there's not a newspaper, I'm really interested to see what the New York Times will do with video, what San Francisco Foghorn will do with video, and I think that as art, this is trying to be optimistic about something that's really pretty scary. As all of our traditional forms of media fold, perhaps they'll start occupying the video sharing space, whether that's YouTube or Current or something like that. And so in that case, maybe the quality will go up. The second thing that I'd really like to see is, and I've been asking for this for years, is I would love to be able to annotate the videos. With no shame, I use America's Next Top Model in the classroom all the time, and I think it's really interesting to show elements of identity, gender, sexuality, race, but also about consumerism and about all kinds of commodity fetishes and all kinds of things. But there's many times when, like, Tyra will say something pretty brilliant, and I want to say, at minute 247, and I want to first of all have my students be able to go to minute 247, but better yet, I'd like to have a conversation about minute 247. In other words, right now the only time we can have comments are really to talk about the whole video. I think what I'm really interested in is once we start being able to kind of drill into a certain temporal space of the video. And so now we're at a much more common space, and we can start talking about that. I'd like to see video responses to the 2-minute 47 segment. Yeah, and so I think that would be really interesting, and I'm sure we have the technology for it, but it might be a little bit difficult to implement. Yeah, I think so. Very interesting.